Hello, it's Martin. And I'm going to diagnose why this motherboard will not boot. Now, for the last couple of my videos, you've seen this motherboard behind my shot, and it's been something that's been bugging me for the last 3 months. 3 months? I can't remember how long it took me to diagnose this problem, and it took me a long time. I've been doing it off camera, like in my spare time, in between all my other things I have to do. So it's been just been sitting there, and I've been wondering what's wrong with it. So finally I figured out what's wrong with it, and I want to share with you, and I want to show you the steps I did off camera, but now I can put it in camera now. So I have my GoPro, it's on my motherboard, of course, you can see that. So let's diagnose this. Let's show you the problem. I have everything I need. I have a temporary touch bench here with our cardboard, so it won't affect the traces. I have a monitor, I don't have a keyboard mouse, and I have my screwdriver, and I have a, I can't remember what these are called, jumper. So basically you don't need to boot the system. So I'll show you what's wrong with it. So here we go. So obviously I no idea what the pins are, so it's my I just wanted the pins. There we go, here we go. So, and we should see no display. Obviously the power's on. There we go. It's an LG monitor, and okay, so that's, yeah, no signal, perfect. Now, we're going to take the steps now to diagnose what's wrong with it. So the first thing I would do is check the power supply. So we can do this, sorry. Luckily it was kicking around. Is I have this very cheap fan. I mean, it's, I don't know how, it's cheap. Honestly, I don't care about this. So what we'll do is we'll connect this now. And this will be the first thing I would do, is make sure, is the power going now? It's spinning, so that's always a good sign, but it's always good to know, is it actually working? So is that power is on? So the jumper goes on. I'll just disconnect this and make sure you can see with this overhead cam. Oh, overhead camera. So as soon as I turn on the power, that's working fine. Perfect. So we know it's not the power problem. So we can remove this now. So yeah, just a cheap fan I keep on hand for this reason. So it's part of my diagnosing tools I use. So I should actually get a wee bag just for so I know a box. So let me build this test bench again. I say test bench, I mean, now I know for a fact the processor works because I had this in my old computer. So I know it's not a processor issue. I hope. Hint, it's not the processor. I know it works fine. So let's check memory. So let's, wow, that wasn't even connected. So let's, there we go. So it's got one memory stuck in it. Yeah, Still not display. Oh, I forgot to tell you, this is a gigabyte of Razer system. It's running on AMD Razen. I'm going to say it's in the 2000s. Actually, too much to my pace on it. I'm going to say it's about the 2000 range. It was one of my first processors I ever bought, so it must be the 2500. Oh, I'm sure. I'll put it. I'll go and find the box and I'll put it in the description and with all the parts I use for this diagnose. So let's change the RAM over. And if you've got the spare parts, these are the things you should do to test your system. Now this is my second build I built, so I do have spare parts kicking around in my house. So still nothing. So the next logical point, this will give it a couple of minutes. And then I thought it could be the motherboard issue. So what I did was, off camera, you see there's a battery here. I'm pointing with my screwdriver. That's your BIOS battery. So I don't know where the reset, where the reset BIOS is. I think this motherboard predates us. This is such an old motherboard. I don't know what it is. So we'll try it into a different tracer. So it should have been on the top slot anyway. So try that again. It's still running one channel of DDR 8 gigs. Oh, there we go. 8. So there we go. It's booting now. So this is what you do. You take things apart and then you put things so it's not doing much strain. So still nothing. Try. And then I thought, what if it's a graphics card is causing this? I'm sure you figure this out. Maybe it's a graphics card. So that's what I did. I didn't have any spare graphics cards because it's so. Time of filming this is October. Graphics cards are getting back to stock. So this is not the strangest graphics card. This is only a gigabyte. 1 gig. I'm going to say it's not not a strangest graphics card. So I have this, my friend lent me this GeForce GTX 550. So I'll try that then. Where's my HDMI cable? Now, I don't think it's an HDMI problem, even though I think it's not, because it was working. So let's try this again. There we go. I'll turn that off because there's not much time with paste on it. So it was a graphics card. That makes me sad. Now, I know this is not a 390 or 360, 370. I don't like killing hardware. I really don't like killing hardware. Now, this is my first ever graphics card. When I went into the gaming, the PC, back into the PC, I went console, then I had PC at the start. And then I didn't do much with my PC. Then I went to consoles, and I thought, you know what, I'm going back to the PC master race because I quite like the games on there. This was the first graphics card I bought. It was cheap, but I still bought it with my money. This wasn't a sponsor. No one sent me this. This wasn't a free product. And this was something that I owned. Now, this is something, I don't know what's wrong with it. Future video, what we're going to do is we're going to take this thing apart and we might see if we can get it to life again. Yeah, but I don't like killing hardware. So, but that was the only issue, was this motherboard. Graphics card. So I know every other component works fine. So this is good. It means this motherboard is still alive at the moment. Touch wood. It stays like this. So this is a good thing. And these is the steps you should do to diagnose your motherboard. If your computer doesn't boot, take something off. Like if you got like many memory cards, RAM cards, memory cards, you should just take them out and slowly diagnose. If you got spare hardware, do what I did. Just go for it. I'm quite lucky. I've got some spare hardware. I have built up my hardware inventories to do this kind of work, which is nice. But what if you don't have that luxury that many people have? That memory has. Now, people, you can take it to your, if you know your friend is into the computers and they might have spare hardware. Like you have seen me do clients' computers. Like I ripped out, what did I do? What was some of my videos I can top my head. I'll have reference below where you can, what some of the stuff I diagnosed with. Like I changed the memory, I put a hard drive, I ripped out a hard drive out of the computer. I didn't know I did that. Did I upgrade the RAM of another client's computer? So these are and I'm very comfortable with this. Now, if you're not comfortable doing what I did here, take it to your local hardware shop and ask them why it will not boot. Now that will cost you. Now the clients that they gave me, I did it out of my own. I charge them nothing for this. I said them it's free. They bought the parts, but I diagnosed with them what the issue was, and they paid for the parts. I just made a nice YouTube video out of it, so it was great content for me. But I did it for free, so because I'm nice that way. But if you take it to a shop, they will charge you for the time, because time is money. I do believe everyone should get paid for the times, but these clients I know them personally, so I did them out of my own bag. So I didn't mind doing it. But please take it to a shop. So I'm done. Please take it to a shop and they will diagnose it for you. They'll tell you what's wrong with it, and then they'll give you a price. No, if it's a computer hardware shop, they normally would have it on standby, or they can normally get it. Sorry. So these are and then whatever they charge you. Now, if it's just a simple graphics card, now graphics cards are rare, but word mouth in October, they are getting better, so it's good. Now this video is not coming out in October, this video is coming out in next year, 2022. So yeah, so this is what some of the things you can do to diagnose your computer. Now I am now rambling, which is never a good sign, but I'm just explaining how good this thing is and how simple it is. You can try it. As I said, if you're not comfortable, take it to a friend. I hope it's a nice friend, or take it to shop. And if you're not comfortable doing these things, so I just wanted to share this motherboard, why it wasn't booting, and it took me such a long time, and I wanted to share that. So please comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.